In the United States, we are given rights to our own property. However, if one day the government decides to take your property and destroys it, how would you feel? Many policies in recent years have been enforced upon the people without their consent, one of which involves the government taking private property for public use, specifically eminent domain. Policies like this grant the government much more power over the people and strip us of our individual rights. Strict government policies should be limited in order to prevent coercion. So what is coercion? Coercion is when a policy is enforced upon the people that they absolutely must abide by. We each have our own individual freedoms, and the government cannot take that from you no matter what, especially when it comes to private property. The Supreme Court has accordingly held that the government violates the Establishment Clause, where there is coercion including indirect coercive pressure. Pressuring the public can also be seen as coercive. Eminent domain states that the government can forcibly take your property as long as it's for public use. However, this is not always the case. Many cities across the US have land that has been sitting vacant for decades as a result of failed plans that used eminent domain. Land can forcibly be taken for a purpose that is never fulfilled, leaving many homes as vacant lots. One case of this took place in New London, Connecticut, where a neighborhood tried to battle for their homes that was being taken by eminent domain. The case centered on taking of non-blighted houses in the small Connecticut city to enable economic development by a Fortune 500 pharmaceutical firm. Although the plaintiffs narrowly lost their case, and the houses were razed or relocated, the case resulted in sweeping reform of eminent domain laws nationwide. One of the residents of this town, Suzette Kello, had fought for her beautiful home and neighborhood. After all their fighting, their neighborhood was made into an empty plot of land, just to make matters worse. Suzette Kello's home was taken, her neighborhood was demolished, and then, adding insult to injury, the industrial redevelopment fell through and it turned out to have all been for nothing. Government power is being left unchecked, and they are gaining more and more control over civilian lives with every moment. Strict government policies should be limited to prevent coercion. People deserve to have a say in whether their property is taken or not. Eminent domain should be used as a request and not a demand. If the people do not want their homes taken for public use, then the government should not make that decision for them. If the public votes in the favor of their land being taken for public use, then by all means, the government can take their land. However, if the people vote against it, the government should not be able to take their land. Money cannot fix the stress and emotional heartbreak that comes with losing a home.